Well, good morning, everybody. It's a nice, beautiful day here on the farm, although a bit hot. That's why I'm over here in the shade with the chickens. Hi, chickens. Not all the chickens, because I have a couple of escapees. I was moving the chicken tractor this morning, and I've been trying to get it turned around to where I go back downhill, and when you turn it, it kind of raises a little higher in the front. They took advantage of that. So now I gotta figure out a way to catch all the three of these chickens. Kind of a little hard to do on my own. I need like a net, one of the big fishing nets or something like that. Sweep out and grab one at a time. But they're sticking over here in the shade. At least they're staying close to their coop, not running off everywhere. But I'm just concerned because right there's the road. They could easily go on the road and somebody flying through here might not be good. There, the geese are sticking to the shade too. I don't blame them. Ain't that it's really hot. It's about like 80 degrees right now, but the humidity's 90%. But the nice thing is, we've been picking out potatoes. Some of the plants are already dying off, and I got about half of them harvested. These guys I'm gonna let go for a little bit longer. Gary, quit screaming. I hear you over there. What are you mad about? I want to talk about potatoes, not about you. Such a attention seeker. Most of the ducks are either underneath the house or over underneath there. So they're using that. Not always, but glad it's getting used up. We have one small problem that's gonna grow, or maybe like 5 small problems. And it's a geese problem, not you 3. Here's the 5 little problems. Endings. After we lost the 2 geese with our original flock, it was kind of a now or never to order more from the hatchery. So I did. I ordered 6, and for some reason we only got 5 in the mail. That's okay. I ain't too concerned. In fact, it's probably not a bad thing to be a few short, because it might be an issue for a little bit till we get all the birds kind of acclimated to each other and into one big happy flock. Our infrastructure is going to be strained. As you see here, there's like no real good grass left. I mean, it's all the broadleaf weeds. We're getting bare patches all over the place. That's not good, because I want them to have fresh grass. However, to mitigate that, I've been trying to throw in as much as I can from the garden, whether it be scraps from the beets that I've harvested, which they love. We tear them up. Obviously, these bare patches, not much food for them. But I have been transitioning them over to scratch grains and all that, which is nice because it's cheaper than growth stuff, but I still would rather them be eating fresh greens. And there's not much left in here. And that's a problem, because once the little guys get big enough to be out here, I'm going to move them out here and move the ducks into the big house. What are you doing, ducks? They're over here because they're eating all the feed that I had for the geese overnight. Well, they didn't eat all of it, but things are getting stretched, broken. My door's falling apart. This is like the overwhelming theme of the past week, is the whole place is being stretched a little bit to its limit. That's why I need to really start getting lumber up for my duck house I want to build here, and then fence this area in. Leave the chickens in the mobile coop where I can move around, but there Gary's yelling again. One of the most difficult things over the week to mitigate the stretching of the infrastructure was integrating Sunny, the little brown duck, and Gabby, our other goose, into the flock with these guys. I wish I had some footage of it, but let's say they were not nice to them originally. Hey, you guys are noisy. Hey, be quiet. Gary, he's mad at me. I had to keep him under control there this morning, but it took all week of bringing these guys out every day to be with the other ducks before they stopped attacking them, which they still do every now and again. Gabby, I'm being surrounded by geese. Get away from me, Gary. He's mad at me. I don't know what Gabby is. I think she's just mad that I'm out here. I don't know. Where you going? Such a cute little duck. I still don't know if it's truly a rowan or a mallard yet. I guess we'll find out when it's bigger. I have thought about extending their run past the sewage cap over to the porch and then fencing the bottom in, not like the whole way around, but just this side. That way they have a bigger area with more fresh grass for now. But I've also thought too, once the geese that I have inside are grown up, there's nothing else that'll be in here for the year, and that'll give it time to recover. In fact, next year I plan on having a different brooder set up, depending on if I can get a house built or not over there. But I'm finding myself just at a crossroads. I mean, there's so much I can do to fix a lot of these issues, but it's how do I want to fix them? I have options, don't know what to do. I have got my old truck running, which is great, because now I can go get lumber cheaper than Lowe's or Home Depot. In fact, there's a local sawmill I'm going to go get it all rough cut with, but it's definitely unlocked a lot of stuff. One great thing, today I went and got about 600 pounds worth of feed. That's a pile of feed. There's definitely a lot of feed in here. It will last me a while. I got 400 pounds of scratch greens and 200 pounds of cracked corn. And also, seed potatoes, so I can have more potatoes. There is a few different things I still need to do to my truck, because luckily the feed store is just down the road from us. At some point in time, I'm gonna fire the old truck up, go out to my dad's and get a 16-foot flatbed trailer, and go to the sawmill, just say, hey, I got a budget of about $500, and I'm gonna get me a pile of lumber. Barn boards, 4x4s, 2x4s, just something to stick something up and board it in. But I'm in the planning phase of how I want to build the duck house. Because one of the things I've thought about, I want to have the roof set up in a good way where I can have a rainwater collection system on it. That way, if the power ever goes out here, I can still provide water to the animal. Because that's my biggest fear. With us being in rural Pennsylvania, great example. Now this is just the communications line here. Just about 2 days ago, we had a fairly big thunderstorm come through and we lost power for a couple seconds, which ain't bad, but it could have very well been a lot worse. Where you going, little chicken? The worst times for us is wintertime when we get decent snowstorms in, and of course summertime when we get pretty bad thunderstorms. We can go without power as we have a gas stove so we can always cook, but without power we have no water. I originally wanted to make a simple duck house with a gable roof, meaning it's like, yeah, one on one side, one on the other. That's what the garage is, that's what the house is. But there are different style of roofing, like I think it's gambrel, which is still double slope, but one side will be shorter than the other. I might do that, because here's the other thing I've thought about. Looking this way, that's north, that way south. I know, you're saying, what's that have to do with anything? To keep buildings warmer in the wintertime, you want to have a larger southern facing roof. If I'm going to build my house for them right here, where the back is towards that way, that's going to look weird where you see most of the building and then just a massive roof. I don't know if I want to do that, and I don't know how you guys can visualize it, but if I do a gable style, it wouldn't look as terrible. I know, you guys are like, what am I worried about looks for? I want to make this place look nice for a couple of reasons. For one, I like places looking nice, especially my own. That's why I really need to clean up around here a lot. I also don't know if this is going to be our permanent place, because 1 acre for everything I want to do, it can be done, but it's going to be stretched to its limit. That's going to be kind of harmful to the ground, to the soil, and I don't want to be harmful to anything around here. And plus, healthier ground, healthier food, means healthier birds, yada yada yada. So eventually, I do want to look at selling this place and getting something better, but there is an alternative. That's that right there. Forest. That is a neighbor's property. It's like 200 acres in size, but there's probably a half mile down the road, another road that juts off of this one. I would almost see if I can buy it over to that road, clear this out, but that's a pile of work. Man, it's hot out here. I really do not feel like being out here now, but I got too much work to do. I'm not excited for unloading all that feed either in the heat. I know this is fairly simple. This is kind of like the basic floor plan I have for the duck house. I want to have your open room, which I should have drew another door in here, probably a smaller door, but I want to have feed bins to the side, another door to the outside. The ramp will be here. I want an inside door so I can come in and collect eggs, which I'll probably have all the sides lined up with little nesting areas. This here, I want to have basically feed bins to one side, the way I could store all my feed in the house and have it in a separate area instead of storing it all in my garage, and then have a feed trough here. That way I could probably have like just a little chute here where I can just go from feed bin into here. Just throw it in. It'd be real quick and easy. I ain't got to carry it anywhere. But I probably still got to have like a little area for water, which I don't know how I want to do that yet, is I want to have it like graded. So since ducks are fairly messy, all the water that they splash around should drain out, shouldn't rot the floors. And I might borrow a design idea off of Morgan from the Goldshaw Farm. He built his duck house about 2 or 3 feet off the ground for ventilation and everything, and that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. And considering this is just a big sand pit from the pool, this should drain fairly well once I get the ducks in here. If I build the house here, give it about 2 foot, or about the height of this post, the one with power. That's another reason why I'm choosing this location. It's because I at least got power here. That way, since I have power, I can run lights, I can have a heat lamp in there for a brooder area if I do choose to add one. On top of that, this should be relatively easy to clean out. The only thing I do want to do is take all these stones that are over here and somehow push them to underneath where the duck house will be built. Plus that'll give them an area for shade, but I do want to extend the fencing up to them trees over there. but I have the problem that that little house right there, that little red one, that's my well pump. And you're not supposed to have animal enclosures within 50 foot of a well pump due to contaminations and all that. And of course, I don't want to drink contaminated water. But 50 foot, I'll do a quick measurement. 2, 3, 4, oh my. I'm at like 30 foot right now, and I'm already at my property line. 30 foot is probably down to there, which I may have this measured wrong because I know the trees are about 25 foot apart when I planted them. That's telling me I have big feet. It also depends on how deep your well is. I might be able to get away with having it closer, but I have no idea how deep my well is. I'll have to look back at the papers. I got them somewhere when I got the house. That also means I got to do something about this concrete pad because I don't want this here. The animals don't need it. But I might at least come out 10 foot off of it and then go straight up. So like I said, I want the animals to have this area. Clean up to the road almost. Maybe give like about 3 foot off the road or something like that. That way when snow plows and everything come out here and plow, they ain't throwing snow on my fence and then I got to repair a bunch of fences. Maybe to where that tree is there, that's hard to see, so where I'm standing. It'll be close to that tree. It's nice and cool up here right now, but that is quite a distance from the duck house, but that's fine. That'll give a very large area. They shouldn't overextend this ground, especially if I extend it down to a fence. But I don't know. That's going to be quite the project between building a house, putting up fencing. It might not get done for a while. It might not even be until winter, which I definitely want to have the house done by winter. That way they do have a nice area. That'll be warm, especially since, again, I'll have power. I can make sure they have heat. I can make sure they have thawed out water all times. It'd be in the duck house more or less, but I might even have some of them heated water bins outside because, I mean, granted, we're in central Pennsylvania. It's not like we have really severe winters, but we can go 2 months and never have a thawed out day. But that is extremely rare. But either way, we do have days where it does not get above freezing whatsoever. And the lowest temperatures we get down here is about 0 degrees. We've had, in fact, I know growing up out of my dad's, we've had clean down into the -10 one time. That's all Fahrenheit, so you're talking, I don't know, I can't do the math in my head. But the nice thing is, if I do fence in that area, I can build like a little stretch of temporary fences and put a temporary fence around the garden. That way in the wintertime, they can come in here and forage as well, help fertilize the ground, keep the weeds down, something of that effect. I don't know. That's a lot of big plans. This is going to be a great future for us here, I think, at the farm, if you want to call it a farm. Let me know what you guys think about my plans here. And I guess I'll see you in the next one.